to another episode of Read All About It. I'm your host, Reed. Today, I've got laid out the clothing I'm going to be taking on my Montana elk hunt here. We're just 3 short weeks away from that, so I'm really looking forward to it. As I'm packing up and going through things here, I just thought I'd make a video about what I'm bringing and why. Today I'm just going to be covering the clothing portion plus my bino harness, so essentially the stuff that's going on my body. I'll start with the bino harness. For chest binoculars, what I'm taking are my SIG Zulu 6 12 by 42 image stabilizing binoculars. On there I have the ASIAC adapter so that it can fit an Arca plate for my tripod if I'm doing any tripod glassing. Otherwise, the really nice thing about these binoculars is they have image stabilization. So little AA battery goes in the bottom here, and just hand holding, it's going to add a ton of stability. So when you're glassing offhand, you're still stable enough to make out what you're looking at. And then got a large pouch at the house is my rangefinder pouch with my rangefinder, because I was using my rangefinder separate when I was shooting my bow the other night. But I use a Vortex Ranger 1800. But the kind of interesting thing that I did with my bino pouch here, it's a marsupial, I believe this is a large pouch, is I had a friend of mine who 3D prints stuff. He 3D printed me a little insert that goes in the main body of the pack. And what that does is, given the odd shape of the objective of the Zulu 6, it was relatively loose. There's a little bit of play. I obviously want to take wind checker with me. And rather than running that in this side pouch or having it on the outside of this pouch or whatever, I just thought it'd be handy if I could bias the binocular over slightly and just put my wind checker in the main pouch. So that is what that does, and it's really lightweight. It's flexible plastic. It pops in and out, so if you're running let's say like my 12 by 50 Vortex UHDs, it won't work with this, so I can just pop it in and out. Lightweight, weighs next to nothing, but adds a little bit more friction so that the binoculars don't just readily fall out if I have the top open and I bend over, but also keeps my wind checker nice and handy so I can be checking the wind as I'm stalking or anything like that. So that was my little idea. This is kind of a prototype. He sells some 3D printed things on a website. I think he's got like an eBay store that he does that through. But I'm going to take it on this trip, try it out, give him my feedback. It more than likely will be something he sells for, $15 or something like that on his store. So if that ends up happening, I'll probably do an individual video and review on it, and there will be a link in that description for that little piece of kit. But in a nutshell, that's my bino harness. Also got my bear spray holster on the bottom that'll have my bear spray in it. Then we'll start with base layer, underwear, that type of stuff. So for socks, since I am truck camping, I'm not really going to be limited on weight, so I intend on bringing 6 or 7 pairs of darn tough 2012, whatever I have. I think I have 6 pairs, so I'll bring those. Then a fresh pair of underwear every day. I've found the Saks Quest to be the ultimate in chafe elimination. I've always been really prone to chafing in those boxer briefs. I don't know if it's really the I don't ballpark pouch, I think is what they call it, which is just two little gussets in there for your gentleman to nest in. But I wouldn't necessarily attribute that to that. I just think it's this synthetic mesh just doesn't sag out and stretch out, so it stays put relatively well. I'm prone to chafing on my thighs. I've got thick thighs, and they tend to rub together, and that's where I get my chafing. So these seem to have all but eliminated it. Haven't had to wear cornstarch or anything like that, or Gold Bond in quite some time since I switched to those boxer briefs. But that's the underwear. And then I don't intend on wearing a lower base layer. I do have some that I will likely bring just in case if we get a really cold snap. I've got the Sitka 330 weight merino zip-offs, and then I also have the matching pair of just regular long johns of this black Ovis. So the top is, I think it's 120 weight merino. This is from Black Ovis. For the price, it's nice merino. That's what this t-shirt is. I'm also going to be bringing this t-shirt. Just, want to be prepared for whatever the weather throws at me. And since I'm camping at the truck, I can have a tote of clothes. It's just me, so I'm not really limited on space either. If I had, two other guys in the truck with me, we'd be a lot more limited on space, wouldn't be able to take quite as much of, random things. But since I've got space and weight to spare, we're taking more clothing than I normally would. But going to be bringing merino wool. I like merino for next to skin. Helps cut down on the odor. I just like the way it feels too. I don't mind the way synthetic feels, but it does get stinky. Then my other top options are the Sitka core heavyweight hoodie. It's a quarter zip synthetic hoodie. This is in the Optifade Sub Alpine color, as is the rest of my Sitka camo here. So if it's a cooler day, this is what I'll be trekking out with over top of my base layer. If it's a warmer day, I have the core lightweight synthetic hoodie, another quarter zip. This one has the little built-in face mask, so if it's still really buggy or anything like that, might take that and wear that as well. Just keep insects off my face and things like that a little bit. Then for outer layer pant, I have the Sitka Mountain Pant. This, I believe, is the 2023 version of that. They've subsequently come out with a new version. I don't know exactly what they changed between the two. But this has knee pads in it. I'm not sure if I'll actually wear the knee pads while I'm out hunting. Might be something I only put in if I'm breaking down the animal or something and just want that comfort when I'm kneeling on the ground. But a nice weight pant, kind of mid-weight, stretchy, nothing overkill as far as the weight's concerned or warmth, but it is plenty warm. Then the next layer that would go on is this vest. I'd probably wear this kind of as a mid-layer piece. If it's cooler morning or whatever and I'm around camp or in the evening, want to throw this on over my merino. just for a little extra added layer of warmth. This is the Ambient 100 vest, so really lightweight but active insulation piece. For its weight, I think it is quite warm. I've grown very fond of this vest, actually. It's one of my more preferred pieces. Wear it quite a bit just around the home doing chores and whatnot. Then we have the Jetstream jacket as an outer shell. So this soft shell jacket, not the lightest weight as far as actual raw weight. Got pit zips in there. Probably won't see too much use out of this, just given what the temperature is likely to be. But I've got it just in case of it. We do get a cold snap. Then also, depending on the weather, I always like to bring my puffy pants. So these are the Sitka 3/4 length down puffy pant. You look super sweet rocking the capri puffies, but they are functional and they work really well. Full side zipper, so you don't have to take your boots off or anything. And then just rain gear. I've got the First Light, what is it, Boundary Vapor. The Vapor series of rain gear from First Light. Full side zips on the pants on that. Relatively lightweight jacket, but I've worn it several times on some fishing trips and things. Nice lightweight rain gear, but still durable. And then on the feet, I've got two options that I'll be taking. I have two pairs of Crispies. These are the Brickstall GTX, so full leather upper, full rubber rand on both of these boots. This Brickstall's about an inch taller boot, and then the flex rating on it is a 4, where this is a 3. Both have Vibram outsoles. This one's slightly different tread pattern. I don't know which sole they actually are, but I'll be taking both of them, trying both of them to see which ones I prefer. Put a lot of miles in both of them over the last 2 summers, just rucking and hunting pheasants and whatever else, just working around the house and things. So I have used both of them quite extensively. Still can't decide which ones I prefer. And then these are the Valdres SE Plus Gore-Tex GTX. So yeah, those are my footwear options. One thing I'd note on the Brickstalls is, so you've got 3 hook eye lacing points on the upper of the boot here, and it seems like these laces are like the exact same length as the laces in these, but not only do you have that extra up top, but the laces themselves also go deeper into the toe. So I find if I have to lace all 3 of those, I don't have a ton of extra lace left to tie. So a lot of times I just run 2 of these up top instead of all 3. That's just the way I've kind of navigated around that. But yeah, those are my boots. I really like them. I actually didn't intend on buying 2 pairs of Crispies. Last summer there was a sale. I bought both of them to try both of them on and see which ones fit a little bit better. Without reading the fine print of the return policy on boots, is you had to return them within 10 days. About 2 weeks went by and I was going to create a shipping label to send them back in, and I read that and I was like, oh. So I ended up with 2 pairs of boots when I only intended on buying one. But they'll be put to good use regardless. It's not like they're going to go bad, so I wasn't too upset. I'll get plenty of life out of both of them. And then let me grab my gaiters. That was the other piece that I meant to have up here. So I'm going to be running the Peaks Stormcastle gaiters. It seems like there's a general consensus in the industry amongst the people that regularly use gaiters that the Stormcastle by Peaks seems to have hit the nail on the head and is kind of one of the most popular boot gaiter out there. I put quite a few miles in mine. Just around here, whether it's pheasant hunting or shed hunting or just any of those things where I'm going out, coyote hunting as well, going out in a plowed field that's all muddy and everything, wet, if it isn't frozen and things like that. Helps keep that lower cuff of your boot dry and clean, and saves the laces on your boots, just helps all around. Without being weighty or wearing a heavier weight pant or waterproof pant, you just have the portion that you want to keep protected. And yeah, they go on really slick. This is the extra large size, so along with my big thighs, I also have big calves, and so one nice thing about the Stormcastle gaiters is their sizing isn't based solely on height. It largely isn't based on height, actually. It's more based on your calf measurement, and that ensures a good fit around the top of your calf, so it's not sliding down. You don't have to readjust after hiking a little ways or anything like that. It's going to stay put where you need it. And I think, I've got some experience with the Outdoor Research gaiter, and I was very pleased with that gaiter. I never broke it or anything like that. I've still got it as a backup pair. But it was a little bit on the snug side, and these just fit a little bit better. So Annika wears those Outdoor Research ones now when needed. They're a little bit big on her, but I wasn't ready to get her own set, but as needed she wears those. But yeah, that's my kit. The next episode is going to be my truck and how I intend on truck camping, and my sleep system, all that type of stuff, all the stuff that's going in my truck, my deck drawers, and how I pack those. So yeah, it's essentially just as I'm going through checking things off my list of things to pack and laying everything out, getting everything packed up so that, knock on wood, hopefully I don't forget anything. I'm sure I will. But there's a couple shields along the way, so if I need to, I could probably stop and fill in the holes if needed. But I should, if I do my part and follow the lists that I've made up, I shouldn't need to stop and get anything. But if you guys found this interesting, if you've got any questions about any of the gear that I'm taking, why I'm taking it, anything like that, or constructive criticism about what I'm doing, I'm all ears. I definitely don't claim to be the authority on any of this because this is my first time. I'm learning and bringing you guys along on that journey. So if you do want to follow along, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.